Hello again. My name is Dennis Karstens. I'm a retired lawyer and novelist. I'm doing videos for just giving my opinion on certain things, letting people giving some unsolicited advice, whether you want it or not. It's really good advice, actually. You should be paying attention to it. Anyway, going forward, I want to talk today about something really important. To start off, I didn't watch the debate between Trump and Kamala Harris. I never watch that stuff. I do my own research. I figure out who it is I want to vote for based on I think they're going to do, rather than the lies they're going to tell me in a debate. So I don't bother with it. But here's the deal. Most of you have heard this. Back in 1961, John F. Kennedy, in his inaugural speech, famously, very famous quote, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." Now, from what I'm told the other night about during the debate, Kamala Harris spent the entire night telling you what the government is going to do for you. That's how badly we have been misled, mistreated, and taken down a road America never should have gone down. In 1961, we were facing the threat of the Soviet Union, and we were a very powerful nation. We still are. We are still the most powerful nation on the planet, the most powerful nation ever. And we have done more for more people to bring them freedom, democracy, and prosperity than every country that has ever been on this planet combined. And what we have now are Democrats who want you to know what the government is going to do for you. What it's going to do for you, of course, is take a lot of money from people who work for it and give it to people who don't. That's the whole idea, okay? Because here it is, folks. Everything Democrats do, every proposal they want to make, every program they want to pursue is designed for one thing and one thing only, and that is to create dependency on government, to shackle as many people as they possibly can to some form of government payment, so that your lives are tied to the Democrat Party. That's not what this country is supposed to be for, okay? Democrats, let me be clear about something very obvious here. I have friends that still cling to the idea that the Democrat Party is looking out for the little guy. They're looking out for the working man. They hate working people. There are two classes of people that Democrats are in favor of. The very rich, who give a lot of money to the Democrat Party. They do this so they can pat themselves on the back for being so compassionate and caring, and look at how liberal I am. I'm giving money to politicians so they'll promise to keep poor people poor and out of my neighborhood. That's what's really going on. People like Clooney and all these rich people in Silicon Valley, their idea is keep the colored people out of my neighborhood unless they're carrying a leaf blower. Otherwise, they want their neighborhoods clean, right? That's what they figure. They also like poor people. In 1964, 1965, 64, the Civil Rights Act was passed. The Democrats fought it tooth and nail. They filibustered against it. They've been fighting it for 100 years. Republicans finally convinced enough Democrats to vote for it to make the thing pass. In 1965, went through the same thing with the Voting Rights Act, designed to make it legal and safe for black people to vote. Again, Democrats fought this like grim death. They hated the idea of black people being allowed to vote. So they fought it, they filibustered it, and once again, Republicans were able to convince enough Democrats to vote with them to get this thing passed. So, how did the Democrats respond? They knew they had lost the 100-year fight against civil rights and voting rights, so what did they do? What could they possibly do? Well, Lyndon Johnson, in a room full of old white racist Democrats, signed the Voting Rights Act and famously looked around and said, and I'm going to quote here, "I'll have the niggers voting Democrat for the next 200 years." And they jumped up and howled and backslapped, and oh, they were doing wonderful. But that wasn't enough. They had to make black people dependent on government. So they came up with an idea, the War Against Poverty. And they started it with a program called AFDC, Aid to Families with Dependent Children. This was aimed at the black community, and it worked, folks. And the idea was, if you had children and you needed help, well, we'll give you money, and we'll give you more money if you have more children. But here's the catch. No men in the house, no husband, no fathers for those kids. The government will now be your husband and your father. And they did this successfully to destroy the black family and the black community and make them totally dependent on the government. And they've been doing it ever since. And they're still doing it. Which is why if you have a job and you're married, or even if you're not married, if you're raising your children and doing it right, paying your taxes, and you're an honest citizen that's not dependent on government, they hate you. They want nothing to do with you. They're not looking out for you. My friends who still think that the Democrats are looking out for them just refuse to believe the opposite is true. They refuse to believe that they've been wrong for at least 30 or 40 years. Well, they have been wrong, okay? So there we have it. Ask not what the government can, ask not what the country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country, has turned into, we're going to give you all kinds of goodies. We're going to take money away from people who work for it and give it to you so you don't have to work for it and you can be under our thumb, our control, your lives, your future, your freedom, your money. We'll control it all through the government. That's what's going on. And this election is for the future of this, which I'm going to speak to in my next video much more clearly. Just understand that Democrats, everything they do is designed to make you dependent on government. Keep that in mind, please. Remember, think with your heads, not with your feelings. It doesn't work. Thank you. Have a great day.